once lived a Scottish missionary named David Livingstone. He was also a medical doctor. He also explored most of the part of Africa. Did you know that David Livingstone was the first European to cross Africa? Now, let's take this same journey that David Livingstone did down to Africa. It was a beautiful evening in Africa where David Livingstone will start his journey in Africa. This is where Livingstone will die and also end his journey in Africa. Now today, you know what I'm going to do? We're going to interview David Livingstone. We're also going to interview Chum, and also we're going to interview Hoss Wally. But first, let us hear from the man first. The first man that we're going to listen to is David Livingstone. Good morning, David. Good morning, David Livingstone. How are you today? I am very well, thank you. Thank you so much for inviting me to learn more about my explorations in Africa. That is great that we get to hear from you today, David Livingstone. David Livingstone, the first question that I'm going to ask you today is, how did you even start thinking about Africa? Well, let's don't get ahead of ourselves now, okay? Well, I started this journey when I was studying in London, England. When I studied in London, Indian, in the London Society, in the London Medical Society. That's great. Did you do anything else before you started your journey in Africa? Yes, I also studied in Glasgow as a medical doctor. That is great to hear. So, when did you first start your journey, David Livingstone? Well, I first started my journey in 1841. That's great to hear. So, David Livingstone, what were the findings that you found on your journey in Africa? The first I found was in Carrara. After I went into that part of that Africa, Carrara, I went upper to Zoba River. Did you find anything there? No, I did not find anything there. But I also went to Victoria Falls. It was so beautiful. I took pictures and videos of my journey in the falls. That is interesting. Now, David Livingstone, I have a question. Were there any attempts of finding something that was unusual in Africa? Yes. What was it? It was actually the Nile River. I did not know that the Nile River was a part of Africa. It's actually a part of Egypt. Wow, I did not know that. Thank you for telling me that. Now, we have talked to David Livingstone. Now I will talk to Chum. Chum, great to hear from you. I'm so sorry about what happened to your friend David Livingstone. Now, what do you have to say about your friend David Livingstone? How did you get to know him? The way I got to know him was through his journeys of all the explorations that he did in Africa. That's great. What's one thing that David Livingstone wanted you to do? Well, David Livingstone wanted me to take over his journals and to give them to and get them published in England. Wow, that is interesting. Who, by the way, who's going to publish them? Hoss Wally. Is he here today? He is. Hello, Hoss Wally. How are you today? Good morning. Good afternoon, ma'am. How are you doing? I'm doing great. So I hear that you're going to be publishing David Livingstone's journals for him. Yes, I am going to be doing that. So how was David Livingstone to you? What kind of friend was David Livingstone to you? He was a joy to be around. He experienced so much in Africa. The one important thing that David Livingstone wanted to do, he wanted to reach Africa for Christ. He did? Wow, I did not know that. Thanks for telling me. Now, we have talked to David Livingstone when he was alive. Then we talked to Chum. Then we talked to Hoss Wally about what David Livingstone meant to to him. Now, Livingstone believed that he had a calling on his life to the African continent to make a difference in the world for Christ in Africa. So, Africa would be so greatly happy that David Livingstone talked to them about Jesus before he lost his life to a sickness.